All right, guys, you see it, Brisket Point right here. I took it off of this brisket right here. This brisket was massive. This is a prime brisket. It had to be like 20 pounds. And I cut the point off of the flat. So this is gonna get cooked. I'm not doing a video on that. Stay tuned. Prime beef right there, baby. Yes, sir. All right, folks, welcome back to the Rolling Grill. Y'all can see my face again. Hey, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm wearing a Texas Institutions hat right here. Can y'all see that? Let me take it off for a minute. Buc-ee's. Since we cooking brisket today, Brisket Point, I just thought it'd be best if I put my Buc-ee's hat on. If you've never been to Buc-ee's and had the breakfast tacos at brisket breakfast tacos at Buc-ee's, you miss it out, folks. So anyway, today we got a good one, man. Today we have Brisket Point. And this is just any brisket point. This is a prime brisket point that I took off of a whole brisket. It was a 20-pound brisket. This is the brisket point that came off of that brisket. You can see all the good fat. I didn't cut all of it off. I even left a little bit on the back. I'm gonna cook this in my, I think I'm gonna go in a charcoal smoker today. But this thing is the bomb, man. Look at that, man. This is the best eat. So when you go to a barbecue restaurant, let me educate y'all. When you go to a barbecue restaurant, especially in Texas, and you ask for brisket, most of the time they ask you if you want lean or you want fatty. Lean is the longer portion. This is the fatty. This is the point. This is what they mean when they say fatty, because if you see, the grains run this way on this one. So when you cut it, you're cutting it this way. So y'all stay tuned, man. We got some good brisket point coming up. We're gonna use some kosher salt, straight black pepper, and I'm gonna use this Jack Daniel's beef rub just to give it a little sham on top. And that's it, y'all. So y'all stay tuned right here on the Rolling Grill. Yeah, boy. All right, y'all, let's get straight to it. All right, what I did not mention is I'm also going to be using, y'all know I love this stuff, the Claude's. It's called brisket marinade. I mean, it works really good on a point and a whole brisket. What I'm gonna do is I usually put a little bit of this on there, and I'm just gonna put it back in the refrigerator, cover it up with a top, and let it sit for a little while, let it absorb a lot of that good flavor. This stuff is excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And for those that are that don't have access to grills and smokers, you may live in an apartment or whatever, man, don't be scared to cook brisket. You can still cook it, man. Get you some of this right here. You won't get that full effect of a smoky taste like you will on a pit, but you'll still get the essence of some good flavor on your brisket. So that's it. A little bit goes a long way. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. So what I'm gonna do is put the lid on this. I'm gonna put the lid on this, put this in an ice box fridge, and let it rest out for probably about 2 hours. And then I'll come back, season it up, and in the smoker it goes. All right, guys, and 3 hours later, not 2, 3 hours later, we are ready to rock and roll. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna start with the fat side. Hope y'all can see this. Start the fat side. I always start with salt whenever I season my meat. Salt should always contact your meat first, not a rub. Unless it's a rub that has a good amount of salt in it. And I'm just gonna hit it with the good amount of salt. This right here is a, give me 1 second. All right, this is a number 16 black pepper, Pitmaster blend. Fiesta sent this to me. Good stuff, man. And that's what's going on next, and a lot of it. Okay. And then some good old, like I say, Jack Daniel's beef rub. Stuff's pretty good. It's gonna give it some good color. I'm not looking to go too heavy on it, especially on the back side. This is the back side, fatty side, so we don't really care too much about that. All right, let's flip it over. Same deal. We're gonna lead with the good old kosher salt. Okay. Follow it up with the black pepper. All right, make sure you get your sides. Make sure you get your sides, people. All right. And a little bit of the beef rub from Jack Daniels. And we're gonna get it all over. Really, we want this beef rub to help us create a nice little bark. And that's it, folks. We don't want to cake it on. And that's it. This is what we're looking at right now. So I'm gonna let this tack up and sit for a little bit. We'll go ahead and get that smoker fired up. Y'all stay tuned. All right, guys, we're going on. Here is our brisket point. Fat side down. There we go. We'll close it up and let it rock and roll. Check it in about 4 hours. All right, good people, we got an hour and a half. Let me let some of this smoke run off. We're an hour and a half into the cook. Just want y'all to get a peek at it. It's looking good. As you can see, it's still super juicy. That bark is tagging up real nice. I'm gonna let it ride out for another 2 hours and then we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. All right, guys, just a quick note. If you feel like it's, got some dry spots somewhere, you could either hit it with some, I can hit it with a little bit of brisket marinade, or you could just hit it with some vinegar or hit it with some apple juice. Spritz it, do whatever you need to do just to keep that thing moist. But man, look at that oak wood working on that thing, man. That is post oak wood, giving it that good bark. So stay tuned. All right, folks, look at that. Let's see if I can lift it up with my spatula. You always want to try to get you a nice long spatula when you're dealing with them briskets. Look at that. Look at the color on that thing. Beautiful, nice bark. So all we're gonna do is sit it right here on that butcher paper. Put that to the side for a minute. All right. Now there's no rhyme or reason on how to wrap no brisket. I mean, if you want to be all funny about it, then read up on it. But I'm wrapping it just like this. Actually, let me get this all out the way. I'm starting from the bottom up, okay? And then I'm coming over with it. Trying to create like a little cut so I don't lose my juices. And then I'm coming back this way with it. And then I'm folding it over. As tight as I can get it. Just like that. And then I'm gonna stick this back in my pan. And this right here is going back on the smoker. We're gonna let it rock out. I'll probably check it in 2 hours. So to get us all good, 4 hours on the pit, 2 hours in the wrap, and hopefully we should have Brisket Point ready to go. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. It's time to take a temp and see what we're looking like. Let's see, I usually like to take them to about 205. Let's see what we're sitting at with this. Well, y'all can't see that, but it says 204. Best way to do it is to press on it also. Feels real good. Let's check it right here. The thickest part. We're at about 200 degrees in the thickest part. I'm gonna give it 10 more minutes and I'm gonna take it out. But I think it's ready to go. So see y'all on the cutting table. All right, guys, and just like that, we are ready to go. Total cook time, 7 hours. I took it to an internal temperature of 205 degrees. Now, what's very important at this point is that you allow it to rest. And if you can also loosen it up a little bit and let some of the steam escape so that you don't continue the cooking process. So we're gonna let this sit here for probably about 20 minutes and then we'll take it from there. Stay tuned. All right, guys, and we are back. It has rested for 20 minutes, so let's go ahead and take it out of our butcher paper and see what we're working with. Man, it smells good. Like I say, when you're doing brisket, always get you a good spatula. So let me go back here. I don't know if y'all can see this. All right. And here we are. Beautiful brisket flat. Let me get rid of this right here. All right, guys, and there we are. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that thing. Beautiful bark, beautiful crust. You can still see it's good and moist, good and juicy. So again, on the brisket point, the grains run different. On the brisket flat, the grains run this way. On a point, they run sideways. So you have to remember that. So when you're doing your slices, you're actually gonna be slicing this way, or this way, whichever. I could actually turn this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it down the middle, slice like butter. That's what you're looking at. Now, I'm gonna turn this just for the sake of the camera. The grains run this way. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this piece to the side, right here. One sec. All right, I went ahead and put that piece to the side. Now, again, the grains are running this way. Let me turn this way. All right, I just want y'all to be able to see. I'm sorry, I keep moving the camera. The grains are running this way. So we are going to slice this way. So let's go ahead and make our first cut. Make our second cut. And usually on the point, you're making thick slices. Like, look at that. Look at that. Nice smoke ring. It's still hot. I mean, that thing is super juicy. It's the prime brisket. I mean, look at that. That thing is super, super juicy. Even the end pieces, same deal. Beautiful bark, super juicy. Look at that. I'll give you another cut. Like I say, this is, when you go to a barbecue restaurant, you ask for fatty, this is exactly what you're getting. It's coming off of that point. So, let me go ahead and fan all this out for you. There you go, man. Beautiful, fatty brisket. Look at that. And like I said, it's still piping hot. You definitely want to let it cool somewhat. But that's it, man. That's it, guys. So, as always, man, I want to thank y'all for joining me here at the Rolling Grill. Doing some beautiful Brisket Point. You can do it at home yourself. Labor Day is coming, not Labor Day, but Memorial Day is coming up, and all the rest of the summer holidays are coming up. Get out there and grill, guys. This right here is a true crowd pleaser. So as always, good food, good vibes. Catch y'all in the next video. Yeah, boy.